service process. It's keep running and keep checking whether there is an event, specific event. Okay, so using trigger, so event, condition, and action. There are three parts. So how can we create the trigger? Create trigger and trigger name and before. When somebody updates salary, you do not update yet. First inform to the trigger. Trigger check before insert or before update. It can be after. After means you can allow insert. You can allow update. But do this one after update. So before insert or update of what? Salary and supervisor SSN on employee table. So you can make any trigger you want. Like I'd like to keep watching the department information. What number of hours? Then insert or update or delete. Whatever you want. And of the hours on workshop table. So this is the event. Then check the condition. Whether new salary is bigger than supervisor's salary. If yes, do this one. Some operation. We do not learn this is called the function. So we will discuss later in the database programming. It's a function. Execute the function informing that info. Okay? It's a user-defined function, not the database built-in function. We will learn later. So event. Okay? This is an event and condition and action. So yes.
Professor, so can we use normal queries instead of this? This is like
then if you are using the normal query, you need to execute every time. Okay?
Just like that, yes.
Right? That's the problem. Instead,
So
this is kind of the process, service program. Keep watching. Okay? Keep running service as a service program. It's kind of a daemon process. Then something happen. What kind of happen? It's an event, this one. Then check the condition. If yes, and do something.
It is also working as like executing it every time.
Executing every time?
Yeah, because every time it's checking.
Yes. However, this is kind of the passive because it's waiting until something happens. But if you execute you need to actively run every time. Okay, which is not practical also in terms of performance. That will be also something latency. Somebody update, then it's already updated. Then if you execute every second, even within a second, that query will be executed, right?
So this will also monitor every.
Yeah, monitor. Yes, it can be used for monitoring also. Okay. It can be used for the monitoring. So for example, login option. If somebody, if you want to see whether your supervisor is logging the system, if you log in, then check what's the action, then do something. You will practice later in your exercise room. The last one is the view. View is a very interesting database object. View is not the real table. It's not real relation. Okay? Unlike the employee department, employee it has a schema and also real data. Department is a schema and real data. However, think about the three schema architecture that we have discussed before. Conceptual schema, internal schema. What about this? External schema. Why this is a 2 or 3? What is the external schema? According to the 3 schema architecture, after you design and create, it can be employee, can be viewed as employee for payroll, employee for HR, employee for other department. You don't have to create another employee. It can be view differently, external view. To implement that one, we have view object. View is not the real table, unlike the DC employee. It's a kind of virtual table. It has a schema, but it doesn't have real data. Okay, real data is in the main table. So there's no physically stored data. Instead, it has only the outside schema, only different schema. Okay. So for example, create view. This view name, there is a view name. By selecting the first name, last name, project name, hours from employee, project, workshop, then where condition. Okay, this data already exists. So if you want to get the name and number of hours per the project, you need to select every time this one. Or you need to manage a separate table. Instead, if you create this view, you can use select statement. Select first name, hours from works on new. That's it. Then this one will be executed. It looks like the table, right? You don't know. It's kind of abstract inside, abstraction level. You don't know what's going on inside, but in your user's point of view, it looks like the real table. But it's not real table, it's a view. Yes?
Select can do the same thing when we specify the columns. That
Yes. If you want, you can select. Without this one, you can select every time. Benefit of using the view is what? Which one is simpler? This one is simpler. And also it provides abstraction of the data. User may not know what kind of data exists. If they are very critical, so you can hide the information. And also you can make the complicated. So it can be used for the security purpose. It can be used for the simplified management issue. However, be careful if this query is running long time, very complicated query. If you run the many times, it will be performance issues. Yes?
But how is it different? Like, so we are
No different. We
specifying-
simplify, and also we can hide. Just like this. Even though we have the one physical source, it can be viewed, like the, for example, employee, SSN, and name. So, HR access only this information. In terms of HR point of view, employee looks like this only. And payroll office is the salary and SSN only. You don't have to create a separate table. Instead, you can create a view.
But we can do the same thing using the select query also, like select.
But at that time, you need to select every time. Also, another problem is you need to give the permission to entire table. So HR need to access only the SSN and name. But if you give the permission to access this one, HR can access any other information.
But it depends on our query what he will see, right?
No. That is the application level. But as a developer, I don't want to give the permission to you. Okay? Because you are developer in HR department, not the payroll office. So you can control such a security issue using
It's for
view.
developer security and developer.
Developer, and also now some of the user directly use the SQL. In the like the business analysis, they use directly the SQL. Okay? Yes.
Question. If we ensure that it according to the main table, right? And so as soon as it updates the view,
You can, yes, because it's when you insert the data, when you update the data, it's directly applied to the main table. Then when you view this table, it's already done. There is another one It's called the materialized view. Materialized view is the view. Concept is the same as the view, but it has the data. The reason why we have such a different types of view, materialized view, is this is in New York. This is in California. To access this data from California, anyway, there is a network latency, network delay. So it takes a time. So like to think about accessing the data from the South Korea or India, it will take a time. So why don't we copy, synchronize? This is depends on this main table, but view plus some additional data. However, at that time, if you insert the data to the main table, it will not be automatically applied.
It will take time.
Yes. To synchronize, it depends on your policy. Like the employee may not be needed to synchronize real time. Every month you can synchronize. Okay? So that is called the materialized view. Materialized view is used also a lot nowadays, because nowadays many of the database system is a distributed system. That is the view materialization. Okay. You can give the permission to update the view. However, at the time you can give the two options, whether you can update entire table or specific column. Okay? If you give the permission to the view, then you can only update this one, or the entire. You can give the specific permission. Okay, that's the end of the SQL chapter. I can say the old SQL syntax that you have learned today and last week and last class is 20-30% of entire the SQL. The other are additional. I don't recommend you study the line by line, page by page. It's like the cookbook. So whenever you need, you can refer such other textbook or manual provided by the manufacturer, like the Oracle Informix. They provide very nice reference book. Then you can study by yourself for additional feature or additional comment. Next week, as I announced, you need to submit the 5-page presentation file for your page 1 and page 2 by Sunday. Then why don't you check your time, whether Monday or Wednesday? So you should be on time on Tech 163 to